Hello game trollers, and welcome to a new video, and welcome to a little discussion video where I'll be talking about Spider-Man PS4, which is coming out in about a month and a half from now. And just a little discussion video talking about just giving my thoughts on what the game should be like and blah blah blah. You know, we are really close to its release, so you know I'm very excited. I've been waiting for this game for 2 years, man. 2 years. Well, we've all been waiting for it, but you know what I mean. But yeah, so I got a few notes and stuff that I want to talk about. And yeah, let's get right into it. So first off, we're gonna be talking about the story here. So the story, from what we know thus far, you're playing Spider-Man. He's in his early 20s. He's a scientist. You know, he's been Spider-Man for a little bit already. You know, he's taken out a few people, and that's pretty much the situation at the beginning. Then you throughout the game, you take on the Sinister Six, which comprises of I always forget who's in it. You got Rhino. You got Electro, you got Scorpion, you got Vulture, you got Mr. Negative, and a mysterious, currently unknown sixth member, which I'll talk about later. And you're taking them on. You know, that's like the main thing of the game. The main meat of the game is that you're fighting the Sinister Six. There's also some side stuff, like at the beginning in the first act of the game, you're taking on Kingpin, and then throughout the rest of the game, you have like side missions and stuff with Kingpin stuff in it. And then apparently, if I remember correctly from like the trailer or whatever, you also do a little bit of stuff with Norman Osborn. So you know, you like he's doing some criminal stuff while at the same time he's running for mayor and stuff like that. So yeah, that's gonna be interesting. And that's basically all we know for the story thus far. The characters, we have a few supporting characters. We have, of course, MJ, and then we have Miles Morales and Detective Yuri Watanabe. But dang it! So you got them, you know, sort of helping Spider-Man / Peter Parker out throughout the game and stuff. And that's sort of like your supporting cast, and Aunt May shows up too. So you know that it all sounds pretty interesting. Now, some ideas and theories I have. First off, who, like, in the game, do they know Spider-Man's secret identity? I don't think they've really mentioned that. At this point, like, they've never really shown like MJ knowing who Spider-Man is or whatever. So I'm assuming I'm assuming he hasn't kept it completely secret. Like, I'm assuming MJ, Miles, and maybe Aunt May know who he is. I don't think Yuri knows who he is. That'd be kind of wild. Just let the detective know who you are. That's crazy. So yeah, I'm assuming MJ and Miles know who Spider-Man is. Which kind of leaps into my next theory about if Miles Morales will be Spider-Man, or a second Spider-Man in the game. I kind of want to know this, you know, because like it's kind of weird just having Miles Morales in the game, you know. You know, generally he's like in another universe, or he's like completely like years after, you know, Peter Parker. Like, generally from like what I know, he's not in like the same time frame as Peter, as Spider-Man. But I think it'd be neat because like, think about it, they haven't announced Miles Morales' Spider-Man suit yet, you know. So probably what I'm guessing is that he's gonna be like a second Spider-Man. You're probably not gonna be able to play as him, even though that would be cool. Probably not gonna be able to play as him, but he's gonna be like the Robin basically for you. Because think about it, in the E3 trailer, when you're like in the raft prison, you're taking on the Sinister Six and stuff, and they're all like ganging around you, and like Spider-Man pretty much has no way of escaping. Like the six of them, like he's just locked in there. They're just beating the filth out of him. Like, there's no way Spider-Man can really escape that situation unless they just, I don't know, leave him alive. I don't know. so he would need somebody to come and rescue him, and I can only assume it would be like Miles as Spider-Man coming to the rescue. That would make the most sense to me. So I assume Miles Morales could like have some kind of superhero identity in the game, and again, it would be pretty cool if you get to like play as him and stuff. I think that'd be neat. But yeah, I think Miles Morales would actually be like a second Spider-Man in this, which would be neat. And if not that, then I don't know. It's just weird that Miles is in the game, but then he doesn't have. They don't have his suit, you know, like his Spider-Man suit. So I don't know. But next up here, and sort of like the big story thing, who is the sixth member of the Sinister Six? Who is it? You know, who's that big bad guy who's assembled these guys and let them escape the prison? Blah blah blah. And Spider-Man's just like, no, you know, at the end of the trailer and stuff like that. So like, who is it? And pretty much the main guess at this point, the main theory is either Green Goblin or Doc Ock. Those are like the two big bads who pretty much anybody who you would think would assemble these guys. And it sort of ties into the whole Peter Parker scientist thing, because Peter Parker being a scientist means that he's going to be working with one of them. He's either going to be working for Oscorp, or he's going to be like Doc Ock's apprentice or whatever. He also could be working for Kurt Connors, but the Lizard ain't going to be the leader of the Sinister Six. You know, he's not got a jetpack mechanical sounding thing with fire, which is what we saw in the E3 trailer. So that's obviously not what's going down there. Is he either like working for Oscorp or something? I can only assume he is, because Harry Osborn, like there's a whole side mission of him like asking Peter / Spider-Man, I don't know, to do something for him. That's also another thing. Like, does Harry know? Harry's not gonna be like in the main thing because he's like gone traveling or whatever. I'm not entirely sure. Like he's away. He's not in New York during the time of the game, from what I heard. So I don't know. But Harry, there's like a side mission where he asks you to like pick up these thingums for him. So I can assume that means that he's working, like Peter is working for Oscorp, and they're sort of like working together and stuff, which would be neat. Which means that there's a good chance that it could be Green Goblin, who's the big bad, who I personally think it is. I don't know, unless like it sounded very jetpacky. The sound that was playing when that scene was going down, like it didn't sound like somebody climbing a building or whatever. It's like giant mechanical arms. It sounded like somebody's using a jetpack and flying up there. So that's probably Green Goblin. It'd be crazy if it ended up being like Iron Man or something. That'd just be wild. But yeah, so I assume it's Green Goblin, and sort of you're fighting against Norman Osborn, who's your boss, and then it's gonna be a really interesting dynamic of you working for Oscorp, Norman Osborn being your boss, possibly being the next mayor, being like sort of like a criminal mastermind on the side, and then as Spider-Man, you're taking on his criminal stuff at the same time as he's Green Goblin. That sounds crazy to me. That's just too crazy of an idea for it not to be a thing. But you know, it could be Doc Ock. I wouldn't be mad if it were Doc Ock, you know. But I don't think it's Doc Ock. So yeah, that's technically all the stuff I have for the story. Then we have some of the gameplay stuff. So you know, there was a thing, like a news release, whatever. Like a couple days ago, I think. They were talking about the game and like what the first 4 hours. They got to play the first 4 hours. A bunch of reporters, and sort of they talked about what's going on in the game and stuff. And they saw the skill tree system for the game. So you have 3 like branches, I guess. You have Innovator, you have Defender, and I can't remember what the other one was. It was Web Slinger. So Innovator, like, it sounds pretty interesting, but I'm not sure like how it's gonna work. I can assume Innovator. I would say is the gadget, but gadgets are like a completely different thing. They're like separate from the skill tree and stuff. So I'm not sure what the innovator is. I assume innovator is like environmental attacks and stuff like that. So like you just like Spider-Man being able to like grab an object and like toss it at somebody or whatever, like that kind of thing. And defender is probably like combo moves and like different attacks, like being able to dodge or like 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 crazy stuff like that. Better like dodging or whatever, I don't know, or like taking less damage, blah blah blah. And then web slinger is pretty obvious as for your web slinging. You're just swinging around. You maybe get to like do like a charge jump or like whatever. So that should be interesting. I'm a big RPG fan, so any kind of thing like that is just for me. So yeah, so that should be interesting. And from the sound of the sounds of like how the upgrade system works, it sounds very similar to Arkham's. Well, I was gonna say Arkham City, more or less Arkham Knight. From what it sounds like, it sounds very Arkham Knight like. So that will be cool. I like I like the upgrade system in Arkham Knight. So yeah. But from the sounds of it, it sounds like it may be limited, like you have like a limit of how many levels you can get, so you can't get every upgrade. I don't know, that's just what I think I heard, just like a level cap or whatever. So that probably would be neat. And then we have the concept of tokens. Now tokens are the way you get your suits, and I assume your like gadgets and stuff. You use tokens to unlock them, and you get to use them. Now there's 6 different types of tokens. There's crime, landmark, backpack, research, base, and challenge tokens. Now that's bizarre. It's pretty weird sounding. I'm not entirely sure how it's gonna work. So from what I'm gathering, you get tokens for completing certain activities. Like crime, I assume after you like complete a certain amount of the side activities or side missions or whatever, where you get to stop random crimes, you get crime tokens if you visit certain landmarks like the Empire State Building or the Avengers Tower or / Stark Tower or the Sanctum Sanctorum or what's Mr. Negative's like soup kitchen thing called? Feast? Yeah, like if you visit like one of them. And I assume there's probably many more things. Like it would be cool if you get to see like Matt Murdock's lawyer place, or I don't know, like different places like that. That'd be neat, and stuff like that. And then you get your tokens for visiting those areas. Then you have backpack. So from what I saw in like one of the E3 demos, there were like backpacks like stuck around the world, like on walls and stuff, and then you go up to them and you pick them up. I'm not entirely sure what I can't remember exactly what you got from it. I think it was some kind of like I can't remember what it was, but you get tokens for that too. Then you get research tokens, which are the things that Harry makes you get. So yeah, the research tokens, you get that for completing Harry's little side mission. Base, I'm assuming base or for you going to like your lab, because as Peter's a scientist, he has like a little lab you go to, and then there's like little like mini games or something you can play there. I don't know, I hear that he's got a lab that you can visit and then you can do stuff in. I'm not entirely sure what the stuff is. But yeah, I assume you get like tokens for like doing little science mini games like chemistry or something like that. And then challenge, I have no clue. It sounds like there's gonna be like challenge maps, or maybe it'll be like challenge like little like in Infamous, which you're seeing gameplay of right now, which is like do I don't know, like web swing around the city for like 1,000 miles or something crazy like that. Like you get a challenge token or something like completes a little side challenge thing, stuff like that. So I'm assuming that's what tokens are, and through the tokens you get access to suits. Of course, like if you wanted the noir suit, you would have to get like, I don't know, 3 research tokens and like 500 crime tokens, something like that. And if you want to get like another suit, you would have to get a certain amount of tokens and stuff like that. So it's a neat way of accessing the suit. The Amazing Spider-Man, I'm not sure which one. I'm not sure if it was the first one or the second one where like you had to go to this little like Russian area, like warehouse place, and then they had suits, like they had the Spider-Man suits weirdly like locked up there, and then you had to complete this little stealth area, and then after you did that you went and unlocked the suit. I kind of like that, even though it was weird, but I kind of like that, but it sounds like you're just gonna have to do like these little side activities, and that's how you get suits. So I'm not mad at that, but I like that little thing from I think it was Amazing Spider-Man 2. But yeah, and then you also got the gadgets from that as well. So you get like electric webbing, which is cool, and like impact webbing, which makes me think of Spider-Man Friend or Foe, which, you know, underrated Spider-Man game, that one. That is a really underrated one. But yeah, you had like impact webbing where he just like it's basically like a long range punch or whatever. And there was like other stuff, like crazy stuff. Hold on, let me see this. You also have like the concussive blast, which is another thing from Amazing Spider-Man 2. After you beat Shocker's little boss, you got like these quake webs things that like you shot like concussive blasts at people. So that sounds like they're bringing that back. It sounds very Amazing Spider-Man 2 like. The game in general sounds very much like that series, which, you know, not the greatest Spider-Man games in the world, but you know, they were fine. But yeah, so that's sort of like how that works. I'm not entirely sure what the base ones are. I'm assuming it's from the lab, but I don't know what there are, and I don't know what the challenge tokens are. But yeah, so that's that. And now for my last little topic here, the DLC. So from what I remember from the DLC, because it's been like a long time since they announced it, you get like little story DLCs that they give you, and you get to play as a different character. The first one they announced, like the only one they've announced already, is Black Cat. There's going to be like a Black Cat DLC where you get to like infiltrate this mansion place and like steal something, which sounds neat. I wonder what other things they're gonna do. I mean, first off, you fight Kingpin in the game, right? Kingpin is a very Daredevil character. You know, I've been catching up on the Netflix series, so I'm pretty big on Daredevil right now. And I think it'd be cool if you get to they did like a Daredevil DLC where you get to play as Daredevil and like, I don't know, I'm guessing fight like Punisher. That would be cool though. Fighting Punisher / playing as Punisher. That also would be very cool. But like fighting Kingpin or whatever before Spider-Man takes him out or something like that. Like a Daredevil DLC would be neat. I'm not sure like what other things you can do. If like Miles isn't Spider-Man in the game, you know, but like, I don't know, like Peter dies at the end of the game, which would just be mad, and then like Miles has to take up the mantle, which now that I think about it, it's probably gonna happen. But you probably get like this little DLC like Nightwing or whatever. They get to play as like Miles Morales Spider-Man, which again, it's probably why they haven't really announced a Miles. This was a weird glitch. They didn't have like a Miles Morales suit like revealed yet, because they have like a whole DLC surrounding Miles as Spider-Man, which would be neat, you know. Like if you can't play as him in like the main game or whatever, you'd probably be able to play as him in like a story DLC. Besides that, I really have no clue like what other things they could do, because like Square Enix are making an Avengers game, and I'm not entirely sure what they're doing with it, and if like Insomniac and all of them will have like access to the Avengers characters. I'm assuming they don't have access to the X-Men or whatever, so no like Deadpool or Wolverine or whatever. But like it would be cool if you actually got like a Captain America DLC, where you got to play as Captain America or Iron Man or something like that. But I'm hoping for at least a Daredevil DLC where I get to play as Daredevil. Doctor Strange, that'd be wild. But yeah, playing as Daredevil, and like you're sort of locked into this little area of Manhattan, like Hell's Kitchen or whatever, and you do that. That'd be sweet. I like it. I want a Daredevil DLC. That's basically what I'm saying. I want to be able to play it, but I want it. I want that to be a thing. But yeah, I'm not. I want to do a little segment on the suits, like what suits they have in the game, but I'm not that huge on like alternate Spider-Man costumes and stuff. Like obviously the movie suits, like the Amazing Spider-Man 1 suit, I really want. That was an amazing suit. Like it was wild just how awesome that suit was. Obviously the Tobey Maguire suits would be neat. I want to say the 2099 suit, but the Velocity suit, which they announced at Comic-Con at SDCC, that sounds very much like the ability you get from it and like how it looks is very 2099. So it'd be weird if you had 2099 at the same time. You know, that I don't know. That just seems kind of odd to me. But I would like a 2099 suit, and obviously I think they've already like confirmed or like teased the black suit or whatever. But yeah, that's all I can really think of right now. But yeah, I'm not huge on like Spider-Man costumes and stuff. Like Batman, you know, and I'm all about it, you know. But Spider-Man, I'm not like huge on like the Spider-Man comics and stuff like that, as I am with Batman. But yeah, so that's sort of it really for this little Spider-Man discussion video. Tell me what you're looking forward to or whatever for Spider-Man PS4, like what characters you want to show up, like if you want the Avengers to show up, or like I don't know, Luke Cage or whatever. Like Iron Fist and Iron Fist DLC would be cool too. Like what kind of stuff are you expecting from the game? Do you think it's gonna be like the greatest Spider-Man game you've ever seen in your life? Like tell me in the comment section down below. And got more videos coming, like doing universe mode still and stuff like that. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Make sure to like, make sure to comment, make sure to subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Troll on, baby! That's my Kingpin voice right there.